you guys doing? So we're back again with another Filmmaking Times show. So I'm here, I'm back in my usual spot, and I'm here with my brother Lucas, who's right here.
Hi everyone.
So, anyways, as always at the beginning, we're gonna give you guys a little bit of extra time to kind of to join us. So, just let me know maybe for now, maybe where everybody is, at right now. So tell me where you're watching it from and what time is it over there. Like I said, we're on the east coast of the U.S. Well, I'm here, and then Lucas is in Canada, right?
Right.
So anyways, what's it called? Today's show is going to be, as the title suggests, it's tech versus art, or maybe with art. You can think. So meaning just like, how does technology affect art? As always, let me know what you guys think in the comments and all that stuff. I'm actually going to go up here to Facebook so I can hear too. But anyways, Lucas is going to be moderating too. So if I miss any questions or comments or anything like that, he's gonna be on top of that. So. Let's see here. Make sure everything is okay.
You want to do you want to mention some other things that we're going to be doing on the show in case,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll mention it a few times in case people join us later. But yeah, so we're gonna be showing some cool products too, since we're talking about technology and art. So some of these products I'm gonna be showing you guys today. Also, there's gonna be well, actually, I'll leave it as a surprise, a cool surprise for you guys. But I'll leave it till a little bit later. I'll reveal that surprise thing. So, anyways, I see.
Also,
Yeah.
sorry about aren't you're also going to do a color correction, right? Color grading using Lumetri, right?
Yeah. So we've been getting submissions. Like, we can't go through all of them at once, but again, this is I'm trying to catch up basically one of them. So another submission that I thought would be fun showing you, but basically if somebody wanted to color grade their film, so I'll kind of go through it, but this time instead of doing it in DaVinci Resolve, I'll do it in Premiere, so you guys can kind of see. But actually, talking about color grading, here is a little something that I have that, for those of you who are following me on Instagram, you would have probably already seen it, and it's basically here. Sorry, getting some feedback here. I'm not sure where this is from. I believe it's Facebook. Yep, of course. All right. Yeah. So this is the micro panel here, and from DaVinci Resolve. So I got this a couple days ago. Started using this. It's for those of you who don't know what this is. It basically allows you to adjust the colors, in your shots, or basically, everything that you can really do in DaVinci Resolve by using a mouse. You can now do it this way, so you don't really need it. It's not a necessary thing, but this panel will basically allow you to, I guess, do it faster and do multiple things at once. Because if you're going with a mouse, you can, let's see, you have the highlight, midtones, and shadows here, or lift, gamma, and gain. And let's say in DaVinci Resolve, you can only do one of these at a time, right? Whereas here, because you have actual like controls, you can physically put your hands on it, you could be doing two at once or even three at once, I guess, if you wanted to. So you can adjust the colors on all the different, channels and things like that all at once. Plus you have other little like cool controls and settings that you can just get to quicker. Like you have your jog dials here for stop, rewind, play, all that stuff. Next clip, previous clip, things like that you get. And it's, so I mean, I guess, like I said, it's not a necessity. It's just, I guess, kind of nicer to have these things here because it's supposed to be quicker to work with. Now, is it actually quicker to work with? I've only really tried it for a little bit the last few days. So I'm still kind of learning how to use it. So for me right now, I would say it's not quicker to use it because I've been trying to basically just see, like when I click this button or if I do this, how it reacts and Resolve. But the good thing is that, like I said, it's it definitely when you're just adjusting the basic, lift, gamma, and gain, yeah, that you can do them all, like the multiple things at the same time, which there could be an advantage to it. Well, there is an advantage to it, but is it a big advantage, and is it worth the extra, $1,000 that this retails for? I guess you'll just have to wait and see my opinion on it if you're interested once I do an actual video about it. But I just thought I would show it to you guys. Some people have been asking me about it. Will I get it? What do I think about it? Well, I mean, like I said, it looks cool. Now it is not. This is called a micro. I think Blackmagic has hilarious names when it comes to a lot of the stuff, because it's just like their mini Ursa mini camera. It's not mini, as you know, and this is definitely not micro. I mean, this is, I don't know how much this weighs, maybe 10 pounds. This is, way like heavier than my laptop. So just to give you an idea, even though this is supposed to be, I guess, for portable use, because this is the micro. Now they have another one that's even larger, has screens on there, has more controls. That one needs external power, and it's just bigger. I don't even know how much it weighs. Right now I only got this one to try out. The good thing about this one is it only uses, USB-C cable that you just plug it into your laptop, and that's it. So you don't need to power it. It's basically powered off of USB. So that's the nice thing about it. Now, yeah, I guess, like I said, it's nicely built from what I can tell you so far. It looks cool. It's not so portable and light as maybe I would want it to be. But then again, it's not, it's not horrible. I guess, it's not like a full-size panel that you would see when you go to like a, professional post house. So I guess you could technically take this with you on the road. So yeah, so that's the cool thing. So anyways, I'm not really gonna try this today because, because I'm gonna be color grading, like I said, in using Lumetri and DaVinci Resolve. And so if for those of you who don't know, this panel only is compatible with DaVinci Resolve. So that's another thing to consider. Is there are other panels out there that are, most of them are more money than this. So there is one, like a small panel that you can get that's less than this, and I believe you can use them in multiple applications. So that's one thing to consider. Now maybe they'll do an update for this, drivers or something, so it's compatible in other software. But then again, since it's produced by Blackmagic, and Blackmagic has their own editing color grading software, maybe they won't. Maybe they want people to I guess, migrate slowly to their software. We'll see. I don't know about that, but yeah, like I said, my first initial thoughts after just having this here for a couple of days. So maybe I'll put this away actually, and maybe we can take some questions while we put this away.
There's a question here. I think it's regarding the console you have there, the panel.
Yeah.
How does it, from Brett Miller? How would you compare it to the tangent element bundle?
Yeah, I haven't used the tangent one, so I can't say but just by looking at it, like when I saw it in the store, depends also which one. You said tangent, which one?
Element bundle.
Tangent element. Let me quickly look it up here to make sure that I know which one this is. Because I know they have the bigger and the smaller ones too. Well, they have various size. Tangent element. And you said which one? Tangent element panel? Just that one?
Bundle. Element bundle.
Tangent element. Okay, because they have tangent element panel.
All parts. Brett says all parts in the bundle. All parts is the bundle.
Well, yeah. So I mean, that one is a lot more. It's over $3,000. And I don't know how much it weighs. I mean, I haven't, like I said, I've just seen it in store. I haven't really used it, so I don't know exactly. I can't really comment on that. But it's I mean, it looks also solidly built, just like this one. So yeah, I guess you'll have to wait for, like, if I actually have it, which I will. I'm gonna be getting the tangent one also to try out, to kind of compare before I commit and decide which one to buy. I'm gonna, I guess, I get another loaner from what's it called, for that one, for the tangent, so I can try it out. So I'll let you guys know, I guess. But they look similar. Now the tangent one looks a lot thinner, so maybe it is lighter, which would be nice if it's portable. But then again, I haven't used it. I don't know. So yeah. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah. What do you think of the Canon C700? C700. That's from Joshua Stokes Films.
Canon C700.
Yeah, 700. C700.
I mean, I'll tell you that I think Canon is way behind. They missed the boat a long time ago when it comes to a lot of this stuff. I know that they're trying to do, their pro line stuff, and then they have like the DSLRs and whatever, pro consumer video cameras, and they're trying to really keep that separate. But for me, it's just like I said, they released that camera, the 700, like CC 700, way too late, first of all. And when you compare the specs that they have and at the price that they're offering it at, it doesn't compare. I mean, it's especially when you look at cameras like the Blackmagic, for example, is putting out the Blackmagic Ursa, now the Ursa Mini Pro. When you compare it to that, what kind of features they have and at what price tag, Yeah, I mean, it seems like the C700 is behind that. Now, having said that, if you're a die-hard fan of Canon and their look, because they do have a cool look when it comes to their colors and skin tones and stuff like that, then I guess there's nothing really that will make you decide to go, and the price might not be a deciding factor for you. Then you'll probably go with the 700. But for me, it seems like it's still way overpriced for basically what they're offering. That's my thought on it.
Okay, you wanna go for another question?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
From Mohammed, do you use polarizer filters outside, and when?
Yeah, definitely use polarizer filters outside, and I use them when basically whenever there's any kind of reflections I would be expecting, and reflections doesn't always mean you have a mirror or whatever, like a window, let's say, right? Unwanted reflections. The reflections can happen in any kind of reflective surface or glassy surface. So water especially. So a lot of times, if I'm traveling, my cousin recently she went on a trip to Dominican Republic, and she was asking me, like, because I was there before, and she was asking me, how do you get these nice photos? Is it really that nice there on the where she was basically going to the same beach, and I told her, yeah, it is that nice, but most people's photos don't look that nice because their water looks very murky and kind of just, yeah, it doesn't look like, you don't see those beautiful colors that you see with your eyes when you're there. So she's like, so how do you do it then? So I told her basically that you have to put a polarizer filter to cut some of the reflections of like the haze and stuff, which our eyes don't really pick up, or they pick up but not as much. So some of the haze, especially in tropical places, you get a lot of moisture, humidity, and that haze, all of that stuff that's in the atmosphere reflects, and the camera will pick up those colors more than our eyes. So in real life, the water might look really nice and saturated colors, nice blue, turquoise, whereas and the photos will come out looking kind of grayish, right? So you can get those photos looking or videos looking really nice by putting a polarizer, and then I would suggest a circular polarizer. You can rotate and adjust which angle, basically reflections coming in, or which angles you're going to cut out. And then you can adjust it to just this perfect spot you'll see as you're looking through your camera until the water is basically nicely, basically cuts out those reflections, and it looks like this has this nice saturated colors. And then the same thing for the sky. You'll also be able to like cut out some of the glare and the moisture that's there, that the light is reflecting off of, and you'll be able to see nice contrast. It's basically blue sky and then white clouds, against that, which again just makes the photos and videos look a lot more dramatic and things. So that's something definitely that you want to have in your thing. I would say polarizer is like the #1 filter you should get when you're starting out. So, yeah. Any other questions?
I mean, here's a comment from Dark Horse Films, answering the question from Mohammed that you just addressed, but basically, saying that when shooting outdoors, you probably will be using also the neutral density filters a lot, and so I don't know whether you want to mention about the why you use neutral density filters. So we've covered it before, but maybe quickly you want to just talk about that.
Sorry, can you say that again?
No, because I'm just saying that I wanted to give props to, thank you to one of the users for answering here in the chat the question about the polarizer filters. It was a Dark Horse Films is contributing here. Just wanted to say thank you, and he was saying that also another type of filter that's used a lot outside. That's very useful is a neutral density filter. And I don't know whether you want to add something to that, whether you want to explain quickly why when you would use a neutral density filter.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's different neutral density filters, so depends, I guess. Yeah, it's definitely a very helpful filter because basically a neutral density filter and ND filter or ND basically, neutral density. ND filters are kind of like sunglasses, people say, for your camera. It basically makes your image darker. There's better quality ones and worse ones. Some change the colors and things like that. So that's really the only thing to watch out for when you're buying them. But the ND filters are definitely are basically necessary when you're shooting outside in broad daylight and you want to have a shallow depth of field, or if you're taking photos and you want to do a longer exposure because it's just too much light. So you need to darken your image a lot more to bring the exposure down. So those are the kind of things to watch out for. What else is there? And then another good ND filter is a gradual ND filters. Now again, these are not like filters that you must have when you're starting out as a filmmaker, but as you get into it more, you definitely want to have more and more of those. So the gradual ND filter, basically what it means is that it changes from completely clear filter to an ND filter. So part of your image will be darker and part of it will not be affected. So by putting that, you can, for example, do things like let's say a lot of times the sky will be way too bright. So you can make the sky, darker now and make it kind of more how you see it again with your eyes, because obviously our eyes and the way we perceive things in our environment, you could say we have a wider dynamic range, which in fact actually we don't, but our brain basically just concentrates on one thing at a time. So because of that, we either look at the sky and it looks really nice and exposed, or we look at the foreground, let's say, and it looks nicely exposed. Well, in photos or videos, you kind of have to make both of them look good at the same time. So that's how you'd use an ND or a gradual ND filter.
Okay.
Yep.
Next question. What brand do you recommend for filters?
What brand I recommend for filters? Let me see. I don't know if there's one brand. There's multiple brands. That's for sure.
In terms of best value, maybe.
The best value.
I guess it's difficult to answer.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, Tiffin is one that I found, not all the time, but majority of the time, for the price that they're charging for their products, for their filters, they have pretty good quality, like consistency and stuff. So Tiffin is one that I guess recommend. Now, if you watch my IR light pollution video that I did about the Blackmagic Ursa, which has a problem with that, especially when you're using ND filters, you'll see in there me comparing a few of the filters, and some of them are actually from Tiffin. Very good filters. Not that there's anything wrong with the filters, but for those kind of filters that cut the infrared light, they're a little bit more pricey. They're still definitely not at top of the the food chain, you could say. Like there's other companies that charge way more. So Tiffin is not the most expensive, but I found some other alternatives that were like half the price and produce the same results, or similar to it, I think. So that's really what I would say it comes down to, is like at the end of the day, still look at each filter, look at the comparisons, look at the reviews, see what other people say, just ask people, like ask if somebody else has used it, what they really think, and don't get just one opinion, get a few opinions. And if you can, go to a rental house, rent it, try it out, and then then you'll know. But yeah, Tiffin definitely has nice filters for the prices in general. Any other questions?
People asking about the GH5 review, so
Oh, okay.
Lots of interest about that.
Yeah,
there's nothing new.
The GH5 review is coming. When? I still don't know, but we'll see.
Okay. On the here we have someone who's on the budget and is looking at the Panasonic G7. And is it good for music videos? Does it have the same colors as the GH4?
G7. I wish we had our friend Paul with us, because he's using that camera as his A camera. From what I heard, he's really happy with it. The little that I've tried of the G7, it seems like it's very similar to the G85, which we recently actually did a review with Lucas. So you guys, if you want to check that out. Because it seems like it's almost identical camera. It's just they took away some of the features, such as the in-body stabilization.
Well, they didn't take it away. Sorry, they didn't take it away. It was an earlier model. So once they released G85, they offered more things. But yeah, the image from my experience, from what I'm seeing and also hearing, is that it's the same image quality.
Well, didn't you actually shoot with it like last weekend or something? Or?
Yesterday I was shooting, so I still haven't reviewed the footage. But yeah, I mean, it's also, the big thing is how you shoot it, right? And also, how you want to shoot it? Do you want to shoot it in cinema like D or V? And I mean, but you can get for sure very similar. I think you can get very similar results as with GH4. What do you think? I mean, in terms of G85 and GH4, you can get similar results, the same, right?
Yeah, I would say not even like similarity. There's always going to be a tiny difference, but the cameras are almost identical when you're just shooting regular 1080p or 4K footage. When you're comparing G7 to G85 or GH4. Again, we actually did with Lucas a video earlier this year. It's a kind of a 4K camera shootout, and we compare a bunch of cameras. G7 is not in it, but G85, GH4, and some other expensive 4K cameras are in it. So you can kind of see how the dynamic range compares and all that stuff. And when you'll see that the similarities between GH4 G85 are very small, and then the same thing when it comes to G7 from my experience was very similar. So definitely like I said, it's a consider like a camera that you should consider if you're on a budget, because if at the end of the day, if you just want to shoot good quality video or maybe do a film or a music video, and you want to have the option of shooting in 1080 or shooting in 4K, then it's a camera, like, again, to consider. It will not do as high frame rates as GH4. GH4 goes up to 96 frames per second. The G7 goes up to 60 frames per second. So that's but that's only in 1080p. And 4K it doesn't. It goes up to 30. So that's something to consider. Is that if you want to go higher frame rates than in 1080p, then think. But in 4K it makes no difference, because GH4 or the G85 are the same thing. Now GH5, which is camera I'm still waiting for. I have a cage for it. I just don't have the camera. That camera can shoot higher frame rates, can shoot 60 frames per second and in 4K, and 160, I believe, in 1080. So that's one of the reasons why I want to get my hands on it and start playing with it. So the second I get the camera, I'll probably do even just like an initial thoughts unboxing video, let you guys know what I think, and then use it on the next film that I'm working on, so that I can show you how that camera performs, not in just like home video use, but actual like a film environment, right? So yeah.
And when you're going to be testing the GH5, you're going to be also using this Metabone speed booster, right? Somebody's asking for that specifically.
Yeah, the Metabone speed booster. Not only that, but I've also got some another basically adapter from Aputure, which is kind of like a speed booster. I forget the name now. I'm horrible with the too many products, but it looks really cool. I've tried it actually with my GH4. It worked flawlessly, and then the cool thing with it is it's cheaper, way cheaper than the speed booster. Plus, it gives you access to, so you can remotely operate the focus and the aperture in any lens that you put, attached to that adapter. So then that means that you have a small camera, let's say GH4 or GH5, you can have nice, Canon, let's say, lenses on there, and you have a speed booster, but on top of that, you can remotely operate focus and stuff. So if you're on a gimbal, Steadicam, it might be, really helpful. So that's another thing. And also another adapter that I got from them, which is the variable ND. They have this, it's like an electronic variable ND filter that they use with kind of, from what I tested it out, it looks like the same technology like the Sony has on the Sony FS5 cameras. So it's really cool because it doesn't have any color shifts. It's very accurate, yet at the same time you can really incrementally make small changes in how bright or dark you want the variable ND to be. So that's another cool thing. And again, it allows you to remotely operate the focus and aperture. So that's another cool adapter. So anyways, I'll be testing those adapters with the GH5 for sure, plus the cage and the rig that I got for it, like all kinds of things that I got for it. So yeah, so as soon as I have those videos, I'll put them up.
Okay, Tom, just going back to the G7, I've got a question for you, and that might be helpful to the person who asked the question about the G7. Because one of the good reasons to get the G85, for example, would be because of the IS, right? And the question for me would be, on a music video, would you use the G85 in terms of the IS? Is the IS on the G85 good enough to do music videos, or would you still would be using other type of stabilizer for your camera, or you think it's good enough to actually use it just by itself on the music video shoot? Because I mean, a music video,
if you don't have a gimbal, you mean, or?
Yeah, let's say, would you need to use a gimbal on a G85, or you think you could do without it?
I think you can do without it. I mean, I've seen tests, like I said, with and like now I got this kit with the new lens that they have, and it's you still obviously have to be careful. You can just be walking around with it like this, but if you holding it nice and steady and you're walking with it, the walking shots look almost like there's sometimes moments where if you go shake it too much, then you'll see it, but otherwise it looks almost like a gimbal. So I'll tell you, it's pretty amazing. And then because another thing which before I didn't know is they also have now the electronic stabilization, which takes an image that's higher than 4K, and kind of like you using warp stabilizer or something in Premiere, it kind of punches in, and then on top of that moves it. So you have the lens stabilization, then you have in-body stabilization where the sensor moves, and on top of that you get electronic stabilization. And the cool thing is all of those three work together in conjunction. They don't compete. Like on some cameras, sometimes they'll have, let's say, lens stabilization, and then they have in-body stabilization, but when one starts working, then the other one starts to offset it and doesn't know what's happening. Whereas Panasonic actually made all those three functions communicate together, so it's really cool. You know, if you guys try it out, maybe I'll do another follow-up video just about the IS using the new lens with the G85, and I think you guys will be blown away to like, pretty much you can get you know, shots that look like a gimbal or Steadicam without actually having one. So it's pretty cool in that sense. So anyways, if we'll take more questions.
Right. Yeah, I'm saving them. I'm saving them,
Okay.
guys. So just keep them coming, and we'll get to them.
I wanted to show some things that I got. There's always new things that I get. I won't show everything, but anyways, I posted links for these in the description of the videos, so you guys, you know, if you're interested, you can check them out. You know, these are products that I just literally got right now. So one is from Comica, and it's a directional condenser shotgun microphone. Is it good? I don't know. It's like I said, I just got it. But anyways, let's see. Let's open it up here and let's see how it works, or how it looks at least. This is from what I was told by the company. It's like it's like an on-camera mic. Let me put this up here. On-camera microphone that kind of like, you know, like I did a review for a bunch of these on-camera microphones, and like, you know, so far my favorite one was from Rode. So Rode, what is that one called, Lucas? You're the one using that one more often, I would say.
The Video Mic Pro?
Video Mic Pro, yeah. So it looks like that. It's a little bit bigger. That's one thing I can tell you. It has a Hachu mount. So that's nice. It's very light, actually. I think it's lighter than the Video Mic Pro. Now, it doesn't look like it's self-powered. Or no, maybe it is. No. Off, on. Yeah, it has switches here in the back, but I don't see a battery thing. So I don't think it has a... Oh no, actually I'm mistaken. No, it has a... Okay, yeah, I'm an idiot. It has batteries right here. So I have to put those in there. So anyways, I guess you put the batteries... I won't bother doing it right now because I don't even have a way of testing this. But yeah, you put the AAA batteries, comes with them, so that's a nice thing. And so yeah, so it actually has its own basically built-in preamps, which is always nice because it means you're getting a hotter signal basically, or you know, clearer signal, less noise to signal ratio, right? So yeah, so that's the thing. And then you have settings here. You have the low cut filter, and then you have, what is this, off, on, and then plus 10 dB. So you have those settings, and then you have a little light. This is actually one thing I like, which I don't think the Video Mic Pro has, right? A little light that indicates if the mic is on or off. Does it have it or no, Lucas?
Sorry, can you say?
Does the
again?
Video Mic Pro, does it have a light in the back to tell you if the microphone is on or the batteries maybe died?
Yeah,
It does
whether
have
it's
it?
on, yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay. So there was one microphone that I've tried from one company that didn't have that, and it's a huge thing. If it doesn't have it, then I mean, you pretty much can't. You know, it's hard to use it, because when you sometimes have this on your camera, and let's say, like I said, the batteries die on you, you won't even know if you don't have a light indicating it. You just keep on recording, thinking you're recording audio, and then turns out you have no audio at all in your footage. So having that light is definitely a thing. I like the design as this kind of it's this shock mounts kind of. It's like a cool design slash. It's I guess it seems like it works. Again, when I do the actual tests and review of it, then you guys will see. But it's kind of cool looking. Yeah, very light. That's one thing. And it comes with the batteries. So anyway, so that's it. So that's the Comica CVM V30 microphone. Anyways, check out the links if you guys want to find out more info about it. I'll put this away here. What else? The next thing I got? Oh, this thing. I don't even know why I got this, but I'll do. Well, maybe I could use it for one of these here, or maybe more like if I'm doing a podcast or something. I can put these headphones on. Oh, it's. They really closed it. Okay, let me get something to cut this open. Well, Lucas, maybe you can tell us if there's any other questions here.
Regarding this mic, right? What yours?
Anything, really, any regarding this mic or regarding something else. Sorry, guys, I was away from the microphone.
There's a whole bunch of questions. I'm just trying to click something.
All right, so
okay.
there's no.
Have you used the DJI Osmo 4K? If so, what do you think?
Nope, haven't used it. Well, I'm lying. I did use it. A friend of mine had it when I was in Vegas last year from NAB, and tried it there. Also, yeah, I've tried it at NAB, just kind of, you know, at the stand, but haven't used it on an actual shoot, so I can't say anything about it because I don't have enough experience on it. It seems kind of cool. I didn't like the camera though. I mean, you know, the gimbal worked flawlessly. The camera itself seemed like it wasn't the best quality, especially in low light. I remember a friend of mine who had the Osmo let me kind of play around with it. He shot a music video with it, and the footage at night with like the lower light stuff was pretty grainy. Now I don't know, maybe they fixed it. So, but once I have a chance to use it, I'll do a follow up. Anyways, this is Easy SMX wireless. Oh, it's wireless headset. But this is more for gaming, so I don't think I'm going to be using this for mixing audio, but you never know. Or maybe for doing Skype calls when I'm calling Lucas. So I just thought I would show it to you guys. And actually, you know what? I did do a video last year before I was off on tour and all that stuff, so a long time ago, and I just never got around to doing it. But I had basically I've gotten all these, you know, I did a video in 2015, I think it was, about like comparing different headphones. I might do another sort of follow-up about it, but those were comparing headphones for filmmakers, like good sound mixing headphones. And then since then, I've had companies sending me stuff. Oh, these are pretty cool. Well, I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but look at this. This thing bends like crazy. Yeah. So that's cool. I like actually the design of it. The look is pretty cool. Let me just put it on. Yeah, they cut out the sound very well. Like I can't hear much. And let me see what kind of stuff does it come with. Yeah, anyways, getting back to the like I was saying, so I've gotten a lot of headphones, a lot of different companies, and I did promise on Facebook, I believe I told you guys that I was going to be just basically, you know, sharing or giving away some of these headphones. So so definitely I'm going to be doing that. I think the best way would be actually to do it on this show, because we actually do have already one giveaway that I'm going to be doing at the shows at the end of the show. So stay tuned. And I'll let you know how you can get something for free. Who doesn't like stuff for free? Here, let me test something out here. All right. Okay. So anyways, getting back to these headphones, yeah, they look pretty nice. Like the design, how they sound, I have no idea. But you know what? I can quickly test them out. But let's see. What I like is that they come with a lot of stuff. It looks like they come with what is this? Oh, I guess that's the microphone, so you can attach it. Comes with a USB cable, I guess for charging it, because it is wireless. Comes with another cable that's longer, I guess USB cable. Comes with another cable here. What is this? Oh, it's an optical audio cable. I haven't seen these in a while. I wonder what this is for. If you can actually connect optical audio. Yeah, looks like it. Huh? And then it has oh, okay, because it has this thing. So if you have, I guess if you're using it with like Xbox or you know anything else that has optical audio out, you can use that, or you can use USB, and that's the I'm guessing that's the transmitter. So that transmits wirelessly the audio, or you can use the cable. So it comes with a little cable, and let me just quickly plug it in and see how it sounds. Now the reason why today I wanted to talk about technology and all that stuff is that oh wow, this cable is really short. Maybe it's not meant for this. Maybe it's meant for something else. But anyways, I'll plug it in. We'll see how it sounds. All right. Hopefully I'm hearing myself. Maybe if I can play some. No, I can hear. Okay. Sorry, guys. If it suddenly got too loud, but. So this is how the microphone sounds. My initial thought is it sounds alright. So if anything, I'll do another video, kind of a follow-up about it. But I think for gaming, it definitely could be cool. I don't know if I'd use this for sound mixing, but gaming, it has that. It has a little microphone that you plug in. So I guess if you're an avid gamer, you can do this, or Skyping or something. Anyway, so that's the microphone. Yeah, the reason why I want to talk about art and thing is because I've had these debates with various people. Usually artists get very defensive about it. Is about what role technology plays in art and how is it going to change, right? How is art going to change? Because if I don't know, those of you who don't know, years ago I used to, I started in the film industry working as an animator, so you could say I'm an artist, right? I still to this day I draw. I like to take photos, for example. That's how I got into cinematography, through photography also. But anyways, my first job in the film industry was working as an animator on an animated film. Then I did some TV shows, commercials, and then some more films until I decided to make my own films as a director, like live action films. And anyway, so the thing that I started noticing, and this was already was almost 20 years ago, was that technology was basically replacing a lot of the jobs in the art industry. As and when it comes to manufacturing, factories and things like that. I mean, that definitely is gonna, I think, go completely disappear one day. I mean, machines are just gonna replace human beings. But when it comes to art, I guess many people always would say, well, we don't think art is going to be ever replaced, because you can't. Art is a creative medium, right? You can't replace it. Well, I'll tell you that I'm starting to think more and more that that might not be the case. So let me know what you guys think. Maybe you disagree with me, but the reason why is because I remember, like I said, when I was working in the long time ago, when I was working in animation, and back then a lot of things we would have to do manually. So we would have the tools, obviously, we had the technology, the software, or whatever we were using to make the characters move, but you still have to go frame by frame literally and move them, the character to this position, to this position, and things like, for example, if the character had hair, or like, let's say, I don't know, some piece of cloth, let's say a tie or something, you had to actually make that move too, like animate it, make it look like it's blowing in the wind, all that stuff. As time went on, I started seeing that more and more these tools, basically, but better tools started coming along that allowed you to basically get a lot of those things done automatically. So like, very quickly technology made it so that we no longer needed animators who were doing effects such as, like I said, the tie blowing or the hairs and all that stuff. So those jobs were replaced. Then I remember for films especially, we would still be animating, let's say, characters, let's say like some monster or whatever, like some character that's in a live action film, until more and more motion capture started being used. And when more and more motion capture was being used, that's when there was less and less jobs for animators. And then I eventually decided to get out of the industry. That wasn't really the reason why, and there was other reasons, but mainly I just wanted to make my own films. But I decided to get out of the industry simply because I'm saying I decided to get out of the industry for different reasons, but the reason, one of the things that I used to like have conversations about with my friends at work was that I don't think an animator, a job as an animator is in long term. I don't know how many years. I remember back then I was saying maybe in 10 years most animation jobs will be gone. Now obviously it's been almost 20 years later. There's still people doing animation, but I'll tell you, a lot of it is monotone work. It's just things that people can't, like the motion capture technology is still not good at capturing fingers and little things like that. It's getting though better. So a lot of animators go in and do those little things, which is just kind of boring, but the main motion of the character will be captured. So the actors, you could say, are really animating the characters. So that's where motion capture has replaced it. And not only that, but there's even AI, artificial intelligence, that now can create simulations of somebody walking, falling, or doing stunts, like digital stunts, that look, way more dangerous, way cooler, better than real life, and way safer and cheaper. So that's definitely replacing that. And so I remember when I started seeing that, I remember I had once a conversation with a friend of mine who's a writer, script writer, and writes books too, and he was the one who told me, well, that now there's AI that's actually writing books and poetry, which I was like, first like, no way. There's no way that's happening. Or if it is, it must sound horrible. But actually there is. So like I have here, just literally this morning I was looking up at different, articles. So there's one here. It says, what is it? Japanese AI program just wrote another short novel, and this one, it won a literary prize. No, it almost won a prize in literature. So you can actually go online, you can read it. I guess it's actually about AI, the book. So I mean, the fact that AI was able to write a whole book, even do for example, poetry. I think this one is poetry. If you guys want, I can read some of it to you. I don't know if you guys like poetry or not, but Lucas, you can also tell me maybe what you think. So this is poetry that is what is it? This was written by Google's artificial intelligence writes miserable poetry. That's the article. Now you can find it on telegraph.co.uk. That's where I found this. Anyways, the poetry is, it's titled "Amazing, Isn't It?" and it goes like this. So what is it? It hurts, isn't it? Why would you do that? You can do it. I can do it. I can't do it. I can do it. I don't do it. I cannot do it. I couldn't do it. That's the end of the poem. So it's very weird.
I would say so, yeah.
What do you think, Lucas?
It makes me think that maybe when I wasn't getting these poems when I was, in high school, maybe that's the reason, because they always, I don't know, like it's I never, I guess I'm not sure if I ever got poetry, and
You never understood
whether it
it?
was whether written by humans or by by computers. Yeah,
Like there's
I mean, I
another,
don't
like
know.
this one. There's another creepy one here. Listen to this. There is
Yeah.
no one else in sight. There were only the ones who mattered. They were the ones left. He had to be with me. She had to be with me. I had to do this. I wanted to kill him. I started to cry. I turned to him. So that's a creepy poem.
The thing is, like with poem, I'm not sure whether poetry is the best thing, but I mean, I guess art overall
No,
is
but
like
I
that
guess
because
here's just shows you that if you're questioning can artificial
yeah,
intelligence write poetry, I mean it can. Now can it write good poetry? I don't know, right? Just like for example with paintings. Maybe here I can show you guys.
okay,
What is it? This one, Google's again. So see, it's Google's artificial intelligence brain is pumping out trippy and pricey art. Supposedly it's selling for how much? Let's see the price. Oh, it's saying over $100,000. Some people have paid for this, and I don't know if I'd pay that much money. But anyways, let me here jump so you guys can see it. So this is one example of this. Yeah, it's definitely trippy. Google's artificial, intelligence does this painting. I mean, it's kind of cool. I gotta admit. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of like abstract art, but this one has some. It kind of looks almost like that art from the first Aliens movie.
yeah,
Let's see what else it has here. There's another one, another article. This is also Google's thing. Does painting like this? Very weird. It kind of looks almost 3D though. And oh, this one I like. So this one is it's an impressionist painting. So it takes a photo, this actual photo, and then it did a painting based on it. Like this one, I actually like this one. This is a cool style. So this is something I could see myself putting up on a wall. So definitely there's some interesting style. This one's just way too trippy. So I can't even look at it. But that just shows you that yeah, you can have computers so things. Let me know, guys. Do you think we as filmmakers, as scriptwriters, directors, maybe even, are going to be out of a job one day? You think? I'll tell you this. I think there probably will get to probably sooner than later to a point. This is what I think. To a point where there will be artificial intelligence that will create movies. Just like they already do paintings and things like that. They'll be able to do, because when you think about it, the camera technology and editing. There's even the GoPro now released. Well, not now. For a while now they had it with their GoPro Hero 5. They have program that kind of uses, you could say, I think it uses AI, maybe uses something else, but some algorithm that it looks at your footage. Also, you could be as a director, you could kind of put your input and say, these are my highlights, my most interesting footage I recorded on the GoPro, and then the GoPro, their software, which I think the Cineform, I might be misquoting it, but anyways, their software actually takes the all that footage basically and will cut it to the music that you provide and all that stuff. Or I think you can even randomly choose music track for you, so you can quickly have like a video that edited of let's say you're recording something on a GoPro for an hour and you have an hour worth of footage and you want to have like a 30-second video to put on Instagram. It will actually do it for you. So I think it will eventually get to a point where it can edit a whole film. It will be able to even decide where to put the cameras. We might have in the future, kind of like in Hunger Games, you might have these cameras that are like fully automated. They fly on their own and position themselves, and the AI will control all of them. But I think the thing that will happen is, I think people, just because computers will be able to do it, I don't think people will stop, because it's not creating art is not a necessity. It's not like somebody has to unclog a toilet where it gets clogged, right? Or prepare food so somebody else can eat, or things like that. Those things will probably be all automated. We won't have to do those things for ourselves. But art is not something that we have to do. It's something that we want to do, right? So just because computers can do it, we'll probably still be doing it. So I don't think poetry, paintings, music, creating music, or filmmaking, I don't think it's ever going to stop. Or people are not going to stop doing it. I just think we might have more competition. What do you think, Lucas?
Oh, it's a big topic, and I mean, yeah, I also thought that in terms of that one thing that will always have left is creativity. That no AI will be able to do it. But yeah, when I started to reflect more on it, I can see that like when people teach creativity, they pretty much they tell you like there's certain things, certain patterns that you follow.
Yeah.
So and even like what we think is creative is like I think I've heard of these tests where people are exposed to certain ideas, and then people are the same like the group of people is exposed to the same ideas, and then they're told basically to create something creative, right? And then they can come up with like very similar work because they were just before they were asked to do something, they were exposed to the same kind of elements, and that kind of so basically we are for sure there's like a pattern how that we follow even when we are creative or so I guess it can be simulated probably. I mean I hope that that's not the case, but I kind of can see that yeah, that might be possible to actually even like simulate creativity. I mean, one thing is that I know in mathematics, science, overall, like one big challenge is randomness, creating actually randomness. And like because actually to create a random number, it's very like it's not easy. Like and when you have like these random number generators on most programming languages, they're actually not that great and they're not really random. So there is I guess I don't know when I was reading on the topic several years ago, there was some some ideas about how to create randomness, but basically with creativity, I mean the question is like maybe if it comes down you still need that element of randomness, then maybe AI will not be able to do it. But then the question is, do we people actually are able to create this randomness, like, or do we just kind of put things together that are out there, or can we like I mean they know that I'm not sure whether I'm making it clear or not, but to make the art different, a big thing about art is making it different, right? So if we are able to kind of generate this random idea or just maybe the random seed and build from that, then our work can be different than anything that other people create or AI. But but the question is, do we actually have that seed of random seed or not in our work? And that will be, if we do have it, then that's our advantage over computers. But again, people are working to actually use different things to actually generate random numbers, right?
Yeah. All right. We're getting, I guess, towards the end of the show here, and I wanted to show you guys what I've been promising, which is a little surprise. Basically, it's a giveaway. So, because we're going to be doing more of these. First one here is from One Take. I believe it's onetake.com. Hopefully I'm not making a mistake here. But basically, it's the Pad Prompter, the company that makes Pad Prompter. I did a review of this. It's basically like a portable teleprompter. I think it retails for around $300. You guys can check out the links again in the description of these videos. You guys will see it there where you can buy it and how much it is, the current price. But anyways, you can get one for free right now because the company was generous and enough to say, they said, we like your show and we want to give a little gift to your viewers. So basically you don't really have to do much. You just well, maybe I'll make you work a little bit. Share our video, whether it's on Facebook or if you leave basically, like if you're watching it on Facebook, share our video on Facebook, or if you're on YouTube, share it on YouTube. And then leave a comment just saying why would you want a teleprompter. Now this one I'm not gonna really show this because it's because I did a whole review, so you guys can watch that, and I provided a link to the review. You guys can watch it below, but it's kind of cool. I mean, I don't use a prompter myself, but if I was doing, let's say, corporate videos where I had to have people talking a lot and saying things on camera, and let's say maybe they're not good at remembering their lines, well then this would come in really handy. So this kit literally comes with everything. You can mount it on a light stand, you can mount it on 50mm rods, so you can be attached to your camera. There's different ways of mounting it, and yeah, it comes with the whole thing. It folds nicely, and then basically you open it up and you can put a tablet or phone or laptop, and it will basically reflect the words that you're putting, and you can easily basically shoot through it and all that stuff. So again, watch for that, just watch the video that I did, the review of it. But anyways, if you want to get it, just leave make sure you share the video either on Facebook or on YouTube, and then also what's it called, leave a comment. Just let us know why you want the teleprompter. Don't worry, it's not going to be judged on creativity or whatever the comment. Just let us know. And then I'm just gonna next week's show. I'm just gonna just randomly pick a name, do it on air, so you guys can see, and just go through the comments, randomly pick one, and then we'll contact you. So whoever. So next week basically you'll find out if you want it. And next week there's gonna be another giveaway. I'm pretty sure. Like I actually I don't want to say anything, but just tuned in, and you'll see. So that's kind of thing, and it's very generous of one take only, or the manufacturer of the teleprompter. So really cool in that sense. So anyways, again, we're getting close to the end of the show. I'm gonna here jump to my computer so you guys can see. This is a submission that I got from Richard Stano, I believe it was, and he submitted this film. Richard was here. Let's actually look at the credits this way. He's the producer of this film. I know that. So Richard Stano, yeah. Director is Larry Dubose, and the film was submitted. It's like a, I guess, horror kind of, or not horror, like a gritty, dark film about a housewife that just had enough with her husband, and I guess I'm not gonna be ruining the story if I just tell you that. Yeah, basically she cuts him up into pieces or something like that. So it's kind of gruesome in that part. I'm not gonna show that part right now because for color grading we don't need to. But I'm just gonna basically take this footage and just try to do some kind of a color grade. So what Richard was asked me to do is he's saying, I would want it to be kind of just dark and gritty, right? After all, it is a dark and gritty film. So let's maybe take this shot, start working on it. So I'll go to the color module. Now this is in DaVinci, Adobe Premiere actually. Last week I did a last live color grade that was, well, not last week, 2 weeks ago. That was in DaVinci Resolve. This one is, like I said, in Premiere. Some people were asking to see how I color grade in Premiere. So this is it. So in the color module, you can see I have my Lumetri scopes here on the left side, so you can kind of see what's happening there. Yeah, I'm just gonna go, like I said, maybe start with this shot. So in Lumetri here panel, you have obviously 2 tabs. First one is just the master tab that will actually color grade the whole clip, which I don't want to do. I just want to basically color grade that original. It will change the metadata, you could say, in the original file. Which is undoable still, but like I said, that's what's happening. So here I want to just do it for this shot, so I'm selecting the right tab. Basic color correction, right? I could apply a lot. Let's say if this was shot on a camera, let's say in a log profile, but it doesn't look like it was, so I don't need to do that. So I can do my initial kind of adjustments here. I'll turn on the scope so you guys can see. Maybe even I'll turn on the vector scope so you can kind of see where the colors are going. And yeah, and let's just start color grading. So I'm gonna adjust maybe maybe the exposure a little bit. Well, actually no, because we see everything's kind of below 60% or most of it. I do want it to be kind of dark, but you know what? I'm just gonna Lucas, I'm gonna put you on mute just right now because Lucas is typing back and leaving, I guess, responding to you guys. So I'm just gonna for now turn you off, and then I'll put you back on. All right. So if you're screaming over there, yelling for attention, I don't hear you. That's the reason why. All right. So I'm going to take the temperature here and just put the temperature, basically move it to, because it feels very warm to me, and it has to be kind of gritty, dark. Dark usually means, and kind of, like I said, kind of mysterious, darker, kind of cooler color. So you can see definitely with the red channel is way higher than the blue. So I'll move this. Kind of maybe there. Like right now you could say I'm almost balancing it. Now I'm not quite balancing it because this thing, there's obviously a lot of warmth. Her skin tone, those walls, everything's very warm. But I do want it to be kind of bluer anyway, so that's why I made it kind of more on the equal side. And you can see the vector scope now moves this. If I turn that off, see that before the colors were mainly going towards the red and yellows, right? Now when I turn on what I did, it's going more towards the blues and the cyan. And okay, so now I'm gonna adjust the contrast. I definitely do want to bump up the contrast, kind of make it a bit more dramatic, something like that. Yeah, there maybe. Maybe bring up the shadows. I can still see something in the shadows, but really take those blacks and actually, you know what? No, maybe this one, the shadows, I shouldn't bring it up that much. I'll crush the blacks, but I don't want it to be completely going to 0. So like this, somewhere there, like tiny little adjustments I'm making with this. And this is just overall, changing the way the shot, you could say, look, but doesn't really give it like this very creative look. You see this before, after, makes it a little bit darker, and I don't have a specific example to go by, so I'll kind of just do it on my own. And I'll desaturate the shot. Let's see how that looks. If I desaturate it, maybe let's put it like really low, maybe up to 60, maybe 65, somewhere around there. And now I'm gonna close the basic color correction tab. I'll go to the, I can go to creative, although you know what I think I'll do go to color wheels, so we have our, you know, shadows, midtones, and highlights. And if my DaVinci micro panel you know, would work, then I could use those, basically adjust those using that, but unfortunately it doesn't, so I have to do it by mouse. So you know what, I want it to be overall, like I said, kind of bluish, kind of almost depressing, so maybe I don't know, not towards, maybe more towards like greenish kind of colors, almost there, turquoise. Actually no, a little bit more blue on this side. And then also here, take the highlights, and where is it? The highlights, I also make them kind of bluish, but more towards the green side, somewhere there. But now, just to bring it back a little bit of the warmth in the skin, I'll take the midtones and bring it up towards the warmth, somewhere there. More. So this is again before, after. So it's looking, definitely looking blue. Maybe it's looking too blue. Maybe I'll take away in the highlights a little, add more warmth there, but still I want it to be fairly blue. Now another thing I'll do here is we can go to the highlight, saturation, and lightness, the secondary adjustments. And here's where you can kind of, you could say, select your part of the image and just work on that, which is kind of cool. So you have different selectors, and this and that. I can go by color channels, but I would also go, you know what, to the lightness. I want to basically select the darker areas. So I'm gonna basically, when I do this adjustments, it's showing me right now what's selected, right? So let me go up here. Is it there? No. You know what? I'll actually just use the color picker. I'll say, like here where her hair is, and this area. So basically now if I adjust it, you can see it picked the darker colors and the lightness. The saturation went more towards the blues, and then the highlight is there. So if I move this now, adjust, you can see it's picking mainly the shadows, but I want to actually pick all of those shadows. So where is it? Sometimes moving these controls is not the easiest. Let me expand this. There, I can adjust it. So I kind of make it, I want to make it a little bit wider. Also, when it comes to color, I want to pick more colors, not just the blue channel, but all of them. So like all the shadows you can see. So now I'm picking the shadows, but in all of this, like basically, or when it comes to saturation, like in the whole saturation level. So right there, and then when it comes to the hues, I think also I would want them to be all affected. So basically all the colors, the hues. So you see, when I move it right now, it's basically, you can see that all the darker areas are selected. What this will allow me to do is kind of what I did in the last color grading tutorial I did 2 weeks ago in Resolve, where now I have this isolated, so I can do whatever I want to that part of the image. So since I just isolated the shadows, I can denoise it, I can blur the shadows, you can see, or I'm actually blurring the mask right now, so the kind of transition is smoother. And I can, let's say, make the shadows, see here, extra blue, right? I can kind of give it this weird kind of a, you know, almost like a faded film from the 70s look. Well, this would be more like from the 70s with the red. So maybe I'll put it there actually towards the blues, but you know what, overall I just wanted to take the saturation down. So I'll desaturate almost completely those shadows. Or somewhere there, not completely, maybe 58%. So you can see again without it is, and then with it. Let's also go, you know what, here in the creative, I'll bump up the shadows a little bit so you guys can see the effect of it a bit more. And go back to the highlight saturation. And go back here and, no, where is this? Oh yeah, that is the one. So this is what I'm selecting, maybe a little bit more. these shadowy areas, and again I'll just, oh here it is, saturation, I'll just desaturate the shadows there. So that now, see, it takes away the blue, like in completely the black areas. Or maybe it's affecting it too much, maybe there somewhere. But should still leave it in the other areas. You see something like that. Again, before, after, so you kind of desaturated that area further. And now the color wheels, I can further go in the shadows. See, add that blue however I want it. Maybe, you know what, I'll make it kind of like almost greenish looking like this. Well, not quite greenish, but you can see this is how it's looking. I'll adjust maybe the contrast by bringing up the midtones and darkening the shadows. So bring up the contrast in the lower portion of the image, or the darker portion of the image. Somewhere around there. And the highlights, actually let's see if I put warms. Nah, I think the highlights were good somewhere here. Maybe a little bit greenish. Make it look a little scary. So this is the kind of look that I got. If I just show you kind of before and after with everything. So before, after, definitely changed it a lot. Maybe, you know what, I'll add a bit more warmth there in the midtones again. And let's go to scopes, look at it. Somewhere around there. So again, before, after, so we're still getting some warmth in the skin, but you can see a lot of it, like the highlights feel very cool, and the shadows definitely. Let's see if I make it a little bit more towards the greens. Maybe I like it better somewhere there. Yeah, so you know, you can sit on this, tweak it. We're already past 1 hour, so you know what, I'm gonna just put my brother back on, and if there's any more questions, like I said, you can pass them on while I just kind of finish this. So what I'm gonna see now is, and this is kind of how I would color grade, is I can take the Lumetri here, copy it, and I can go to, you know, each of these shots now, and I can just paste it. And if I need to further tweak it, then I can adjust it. So you can see this is how it looks again, this shot, when it's applied like this. This is without it, with it, without it, with it. You can kind of compare it. And so I might go in and just make further adjustments. So, and here I think it's okay. Here, this one I'll apply it. And this shot just feels a little more overexposed comparing it to the other one. Like even when you look at the scopes here. Let me turn off the vector scope. You can see the RGB parade. Seems like it's a little bit more, so I can go in now and just further adjust it per shot, right? So I can maybe take the overall exposure to bring it down. So I'll be basically making little adjustments. Now this one now is a little underexposed, so I'll bring it up a little. See, that's how I can, to kind of more match it from shot to shot. See, now these shots match a little better. And this is where the husband comes back in, and the blood is about to start spraying. So here, apply it to this shot. Now this shot here looks really blue, and the reason is because it's very dark. Look at this, even before I apply the color grade. So this is here, I can really go in, and because, you know, and that's the cool thing about Lumetri, is you have the basic color correction that kind of looks like a chain command. So whatever I do here is before all the other corrections that I added, including the highlight, saturation, and lightness in the color wheel. So if I adjust this, it doesn't affect my final look, it just affects the initial basically color grade. So I can bring this up, see the exposure, and it already right away starts matching the other shots. So it's before the other shot with the wife. Yeah, it works. And I can apply it. And this is kind of how you would go. You would just kind of go through the whole film like this. And, you know, mainly I would just be adjusting probably the brightness, maybe the shadows in some shots. See, like here, I kind of like it. Maybe, yeah, maybe take those black levels and crush it a little bit more. Just a tiny adjustment so it doesn't feel, there was like a bit more, too much noise in this shot, I felt. And that's it, kind of, that's how you would work on a film, or at least that's how I work on it. Maybe I'll bring this up a little, but you know, take the shadows down, add some more contrast. Because you kind of almost, you know, I want to make it look like he's the, well, I guess he is sort of the bad guy in the film until he gets killed. I'll take the highlights also. You see when he comes into the light, it really gets kind of jarring on his face, so I adjusted the highlights. So you can see, once I have my overall color grade that I like, I'm more just going in making these overall adjustments, right? So here I think the intensity is, maybe I can bring it up a little bit, but still adjust the highlights. and the black levels. Yeah, now it kind of matches better. So that's it. So you can go into here, just kind of preview it. Anyways, any other questions, Lucas?
Yeah, there's a bunch of questions that I promised that we would get to them before the end of the show. So let's get on it. Are there any good S-Log presets for Sony 6300?
It's like S-Log, I guess. Well, yeah, I guess
Presets.
yeah, you mean like LUTs, right? I'm guessing.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
If there's, Film Convert, for example, they don't have LUTs. They have a plugin you have to buy, and it's maybe not the cheapest, but it's a good product. I've used it before on some projects, so it definitely is a good product. And they have basically, once you buy it, then you have their different calibration basically packages, right? Or different things that you can the different camera basically packages that you can download and you can install it. So there's one for Sony. I'm pretty sure there's one for Sony A6300. That's the one. The question: 6300 or 6500?
63.
Yeah. Now I actually am working on some LUTs, so I'll have soon. So if anything, just stay tuned, and those will be awesome. Well, if you like my other LUTs that I've created, like the Cinecolor LUTs, then you'll definitely like those. So I'm going to be creating LUTs, and actually, because a lot of people have been asking me also for LUTs, like I'm sharing my creative LUTs, which are the Cinecolor LUTs. You can get on my website. Also, if you're on my website, subscribe to a newsletter, you'll actually get some free LUTs that are so far been getting great feedback. People really love them, so they're free and they really just quickly create like a nice stylized look to your image. Kind of looks more filmic, less video. Cinecolor LUTs are more like just LUTs that I've like different looks that I created for different projects that I worked on, and now these new ones that I'm going to be releasing are going to be specific for each camera. So let's say if I did a project in this A6300 or the GH4 or whatever, I'm going to be releasing LUTs that are just for that camera from those projects. So again, you can just apply it and it will be for different image profiles. So if I shot, let's say on this A6300 in S-Log, which I actually did, my last music video I shot was done in that profile, then you just apply my LUT and you'll right away have the look that I created. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, I mean, like I said, I don't know any other LUTs or definitely anything for free or that's affordable, other than I know Film Convert, cool plugin and has presets for all kinds of cameras, but it's more pricey and also doesn't work everywhere because it's only specific for certain applications. It's a plugin. So yeah, so that's one that I know. Another question?
Sure. Have you ever shot on the Canon Cinema series, like the C100, C300?
Yeah, was it C300?
100,
Yeah,
or 300?
I used the C300 on one film, and then the 100 I just kind of played around because a friend of mine has it. Yeah, nice cameras, and that's what I'm saying. The color science is, it's not that it's better than other cameras, it's just different. Sony, for example, is, people say it looks sometimes weird, the skin tones and stuff. I mean, you can make Sony look really good. I think Blackmagic, you can make them look really good. It just depends on how you use it. Sony is, the thing is, it represents all the colors equally, whereas Canon kind of did it where the colors that are more the skin tones are, there's more basically, they basically have more variations of it that they save, and whereas some of the other colors are kind of more deficient. So if you're shooting a lot of nature, or nice landscapes with a lot of flash different colors from, like nice rivers and things like that, Canon might sometimes be not as good as, for example, Sony. Sony might be better for that, and vice versa. Skin tones definitely look out of the box like better, with the Canon cameras. So I like the cameras; they're good. I just, like I was saying about the C700, for example, Canon camera, they're just way overpriced in my thing. Basically, you can get deals now here and there, but when you just want to buy a new one with the warranty and everything, Canon's still charging too much, I think. Now, in return, you could say maybe it's worth it because they have amazing customer support. So, you have anything wrong with the camera, they'll, right away they'll help you, they'll exchange the cameras, things like that. Whereas Sony is not as good, right? So that's kind of where, you spend more, you get here this thing, you pay less, you get less of this, but you're saving $1 here. And also every camera looks different. So, but yeah, good cameras.
Okay, next question. Someone here, Anthony Harden, uses the One DX Mark II, so a Canon camera, and he's considering getting the Ursa Mini Pro to complement his Canon camera for he does commercial work. he uses Technicolor CD style profile on his 1DX2.
Uh-huh.
Do you think the cameras will match and resolve?
All cameras can be matched in resolve. Yes, it's going to be easier said than done with some of them now. Where if you really, like sometimes it could be problematic, right? Now, if you have similar camera settings and you kind of do camera tests, I would always say if you're going to be shooting with different cameras, doesn't matter which cameras, do tests before. Shoot with them, see what settings kind of will make it easiest for you in post to match the cameras later on, because they will be different. I mean, there's no denying it. But with color grading, you can really match them. Now, another thing that would be very helpful is using the color chart, or like a checkerboard card in front of all your shots, or at least the key shots in your sequences. And those, there's many companies. I actually went to see DSC Labs in Toronto was it 2 weeks ago, and I saw that basically some of the stuff, the products they have, which if you watch my previous video on YouTube, you've probably seen it. I'll be doing some reviews on those charts and how you can use it to kind of basically do exactly that, match the different cameras. All right, next.
Okay, next one. Is the Blackmagic Pocket cinema camera, is it more for indoor or outdoor filming?
The new one, does it specify or no?
No, it just says the Pocket camera.
Oh, the Pocket,
right?
okay. I mean, I think it's both indoor and outdoor. I mean, is it really good like for exterior, like weatherproof and stuff? No, it's not. But it is a good camera just in general. Like any camera has its shortcomings, but it's amazing image quality at the end of the day for the price that you're getting. But you do have to be, I would say, because of one thing is the battery life is very short on it, and also it's not weather sealed, so you want to be careful with it. But I mean, I've seen people shoot with it in some crazy environment. They just took care of the camera, so it's both, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. Next.
Someone here uses Technicolor CD style with the Canon 700D, which is like the T5i.
Uh-huh.
And to shoot daylight. Is it a good idea to add sharpness in post, or can we generally do without it?
On which camera? Canon C700?
700D is the T5i.
Oh, okay, on that one. And the question is again, what is it? Is it a good idea, like when you're shooting with it, to add in post? You mean?
Add sharpness in post. He uses the Technicolor CD style.
I mean, I wouldn't add sharpness to it, because just make sure your image is as sharp, or as however you want it to look right in camera, because adding sharpness in post kind of does it in artificially, and kind of degrades your image really. In some cases it might look good, some cases it will look really bad. So I wouldn't add sharpness. I would just adjust your sharpness settings in your image profile, which is the one that you downloaded. You can still go in the Technicolor image profile and you can tweak the settings. Now, as far as contrast and things like that, you'll have to adjust it, because it is it's a image profile that's meant to be shot basically, so it kind of captures a little bit more dynamic range, but sometimes, like I said, well, most of the time it's going to look a little bit on the flatter side, not as flat as like S-Log 3 or something, but it's still going to be flat, so you want to go in and color grade it. But I wouldn't do sharpening in any case, with that or without it, in post. Next one.
Okay, what do you think of the GH4, or somebody's considering buying GH4 or G80 for short promo videos? Which one?
G80 is the G85 basically. It's just in Europe.
Yes.
It's called, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
And for what? What purpose?
Short film, short commercial work.
So GH4 or G85 comes down to it, yeah?
Short promo videos.
Short promo videos. It's like I was saying, and like I showed in my 4K camera shootout that we did in earlier this year. They're very similar. So really, just if price is not an issue, there's not a big price difference right now, because the GH4s have come down. If the price is not an issue, then I would say, I guess, go for the GH4, because it just gives you the higher frame rates, the higher bitrate output. So later on, in case you need to shoot some slow motion, or in case you need to get 10-bit image, and you're gonna buy a external recorder, at least you can do it. With G85 you can't. You have those limitations, because when it comes to like the other functions that G85 has that GH4 doesn't have, like the image stabilization or the improved automatic focus, those are great, but they're probably not things you're going to be using them when you're shooting like commercial type of work. Now, if you're also going to use the camera for like handheld vlogging or whatever, like handheld work, then I would say the G85 is better than the GH4. Any other questions?
Sure. Yeah, a few more. So, is the DJI Osmo Mobile, is it okay for beginner?
Osmo?
Yeah.
Mm.
Mobile, Osmo Mobile. So you're not really familiar.
For the phone. I mean, I guess it's okay for a beginner, but still, for the price that you're paying, I mean, if you already have a smartphone, you can buy some other, because I mean, the DJI Osmo gives you, the mobile one gives you some extra control you can do and stuff to the phone, but it's not a big difference. And if you're a beginner, I'm guessing budget is an issue. So I would say go for something that's, that's like where you can save you the buck, and then later on maybe you can invest in better audio equipment and things like that, which you will need even if you're shooting on an iPhone or something. So there's other gimbals that are more affordable, that will work great with phones, and not only that, but they work with different phones, right? Much better than I think than the Osmo Mobile. I mean, it's I don't want to knock it down. It's a great thing. If price is not an issue, I would say go get it. Yeah, you can get beautiful stuff with it. But you also have to keep in mind that you're shooting at the end of the day with a phone. So if your phone, if you're not happy with your image quality with your phone, the Osmo is not going to make it better. Yeah.
Would you consider buying any DJI Osmo?
Well, me personally, no, because I'm either like if I'm like traveling or something and doing home videos and stuff, I like something super small. I don't care about having a gimbal, so I'll use like my little Canon G7X, what is it, right? G7X2, the little cameras that I have for like vlogging and stuff. They're cool because they're really small. You turn it off, lens retracts in there, put it in your pocket. You don't know you have it. But if I'm going to be shooting something where I want those smooth shots on that's usually in like a bigger production, and then I don't mind carrying a slightly bigger gimbal like the KMTV, which one, like for example the Single, right? That I did a review on it. Great gimbal. You can put all kinds of cameras, even a GoPro or a phone on it, and so then I would just go for a bigger setup. So like for me, I'd rather just get something like a tool that is capable of shooting really professional stuff than it's like somewhere in between. Because to me, I find the Osmo, whether it's the mobile or the regular DJI Osmo, it's the quality is, you're either going to be limited by the quality of your phone or the quality of the Osmo camera, which, like I said, low light is not, at least last time I tested it, there's not a good strength of it. Yeah.
Guys, okay. Now following up on this, what do you think of the iPhone 7 camera? I know you don't have an iPhone, Tom, but overall, what do you think about, I guess, some of the top cameras that come with phones? Yeah.
iPhone camera?
Yeah, the iPhone 7 camera, and I guess I know the answer is that you don't have much of an opinion because you don't use iPhone.
Yeah, exactly. I'm an Android guy, in case you didn't know. But like at the end of the day, I'll tell you, don't get me wrong, there's amazing images you can get with pretty much most phones, and I've seen amazing photography done with iPhones. Even the previous iPhone 6 and stuff. So the quality is definitely good. To me, it's just at the end of the day, like I just said, you're shooting with a phone. So there's big limitations to that, right? Now, if that's all you have, don't let it stop you. Go and make the film or whatever it is that you're working on, and you can shoot with the phone. But, like I said, you are going to have some limitations. With every camera, like I said, you'll have limitations. But usually the more you spend, the less limitations you're going to have, right? That doesn't mean though that if you buy the most expensive camera in the world, you're not going to have limitations. There will actually be still some limitations these cameras still have that actually you might not have with some smaller, more affordable cameras. So that's the thing. Quality, I'll tell you, all of these phones these days, all of the new ones, like the Galaxy or Samsung, or I've tried the LG G5. I've tried the iPhone. I don't know if I tried the 7. I think or was it the 6? I forget now the last time. Anyways, I used it like the previous version, and it was beautiful quality. It takes amazing photos and good quality video too. You can even do slow motion now on phones. But at the end of the day, you don't have you have manual controls now on these cameras too and stuff, but it's not as intuitive, right? And like I said, you're shooting with a really tiny image sensor, so you can't do as many creative things with focus and things like that. So that's something to consider.
Okay, quickly here, I guess let's try to do quickly, but I'm not sure whether it's possible. But here, somebody's comparing two cameras, like wondering about the Panasonic G7 and FZ or FZ300, which is, I think, it's like a pocket camera, right? Where you cannot interchange the lens.
Well,
And
it's
he's
not a
saying
pocket
that,
camera, but yeah, it's with it's not interchangeable. Yeah.
yeah, and okay, so it's not that. Okay, and then he's saying, so the lens, he's saying that the lens on the FZ300 is, much longer, goes up to 600 millimeters, so it's much better than the stock lens on the G7. So why would he says that he loves the zoom, and it seems that that camera does not get much of a credit. So what makes the G7 better? Just wondering why people are so much more like why people say that G7 is better, even though the lens that it comes with is not as good. And
well, I don't know if people are saying it's better. I mean, maybe some people are saying it. It's definitely what it is. The image quality, again, it's a subjective, right? So if you look at it, if you think it's better on this camera or that camera, then it's better there. The lens, the kit lens, that comes with the G7, it maybe doesn't have as big a range, but you got to keep in mind that it's an interchangeable lens system or camera with an interchangeable lens. So you can put whatever lens you want. So the thing is that with the other camera, you get it and that's it. You're stuck with it, right? Whereas with the, when you have an interchangeable lens system, then the kit lens maybe is not that good, but later on, if you want to, you can buy really nice, macro lenses or crazy, telephoto lenses or really super wide angle lenses that you will not be able to get on the other camera. Also, you can get like specialty lenses, like the composer. I forget the name now, but the tilt shift lenses, for example. So like those kind of things you can do, which again you cannot do with the other camera. But if you don't ever think you're going to be using those kind of things, and it's only a certain zoom range that you want, and also the speed of the lens. I mean, it's pretty good on the Sony camera, but Panasonic, the Panasonic G7 kit lens is not fast, but you can buy really, really fast lenses for it, right? So that's, so I wouldn't say that it's better. I definitely wouldn't say that. It just really comes down to what you think you're going to be using it for, and whether you want to have that option. The G7 gives you the option to change those things, but obviously you got to pay more money, but buy more accessories and lenses. The other camera will not let you do it. That's
right. And also, there's a difference. Isn't there a difference in the image, the sensor size between the? Here I see it's 1/2 of an inch. OS sensor.
Exactly.
So it's a smaller. It is a smaller.
It's a small. Yeah. So you're gonna have more options when it comes to depth of field and things like that. So that's, that again gives you, like that's the reason why some people like to shoot with full frame cameras, which, to me, I think once you get to micro four thirds. Yeah, there's still a difference between that and let's say the APS-C, but you can fix that by using a, like a speed booster lens, focal reducing lens, adapter, I mean. But once you go from APS-C to full frame, to me, there's not a big difference or big advantage. Some people think, no, it looks way better, but again, it's just subjective. Now, like I said, the reason why I'm saying it's not a big difference for me is because you're not gaining much on the low light sensitivity. With bigger image sensors, you're usually going to have better low light performance on the camera. So there's not a big difference there, but you are, like I said, and the depth of field is not going to look drastically different. Now, when you go to an image, sensor that's so small, then then you start going into, you're very limited in the kind of control or the look you can create with the depth of field. Also, low light performance might be an issue. So,
okay, next question. What's your favorite lens for the Blackmagic pocket camera? And also another question about your lens. What lens are you using right now on the Ursa 4.6K that you're using right now, right, to film yourself?
Yeah. The first question, it's a micro four third mount on the Blackmagic pocket camera, and there's a ton of really great lenses on it. There's some, now it's more meant to be, I mean, it has some electronic communication, but not much. So I would say for those lenses, it's good to use. I just use my regular Rokinon, basically cinema lenses, but I use the, the speed booster adapter so that I get the bigger, the more control over the depth of field. I get extra stop of light, things like that. So I'll use basically the Rokinon Senal lenses mainly because with that camera, it's more kind of meant to be used as a cinema camera. Now for my Ursa right now that I'm shooting with, because it's kind of a studio setup, I have it actually on these the tripod from Secom. It's I'm actually going to be doing a video about these. I got 2 of these tripods, really cool. Anyways, the whole, when you see the video, you'll be able to see that the whole camera right now, even though it's a cinema camera, it's also perfect in studio kind of a, live TV show kind of camera, like I'm using it right now. And so on it, usually in that scenario, you want to have a lens that's you can zoom in easily and stuff like that, and you can reframe. So I'm using a Sigma. It's the I forget now exactly what's the focal length, but I think it's the 25 I think to 55 millimeter, I forget now, or 16 to 55 millimeter. It's a zoom lens, but it's pretty fast. f2.8, nice lens. I like using it for a lot of things, and especially when I need to like quickly reframe and stuff. So that's the lens I'm using. But yeah, I'm gonna because right now I can't see from the distance, but after the show I'll go and I'll leave a comment in the section below so you know exactly the lens that I have. It's a Sigma though, a zoom lens. Yeah, anything else?
Can you hear me? Because I'm turning off my mic on and off. But here, okay. Okay. What are your thoughts on the Sony line of cameras? For example, the A7S II versus the GH4 from Panasonic.
Sony A7S II versus what?
Yeah, the GH4. Like overall, what's your opinion of the Sony line of cameras? So I guess he's talking about DSLMs from Sony, and for example, the A7S II, A7S II, and when you compare it to the GH4.
What do I think?
I mean, I think you still like the Panasonics more when it comes to the mirrorless or DSLR cameras, right? And that's what you use mostly, more.
That's what I use more, yeah.
When it comes to the mirrorless cameras right now,
yeah,
of course.
I mean, otherwise, yeah, I'll just jump to like cinema cameras, like Red or Ursa. But I don't know. It's kind of hard to say because I'll tell you, I do like things in each group. So what I like in the Micro Four Thirds is the cameras have. I find like the lenses at least that I have are better options, like the native lenses that you can get. The Sony doesn't. I mean, now they're putting out some lenses that are faster and all that stuff, zoom lenses, but they're still the focus by wire is not as good. There's not as many lenses, and also they're way more expensive than Micro Four Thirds lenses. So that's one thing. Another thing that I also find is that what's it called? Well, now the image stabilization is actually getting pretty good in those cameras, right? But basically, I was going to say before, Micro Four Thirds cameras didn't have very good image stabilization. Now the GH5, it looks like it's good, but the G85, you guys saw in my tests, and it's really, really good in that sense. So that's I would say, that I would say difference between the two. Before, Sony was way better with image stabilization. Now the big thing is Sony doesn't have maybe as many lenses to choose from and stuff like that, but yeah, you can put an adapter and you can use any other lens pretty much, adapt to it. The low light is usually better, right? Low light, and you could say also in general the dynamic range is going to be better because they provide you, allow you to shoot in S-Log 2 and 3. On the GH5 now, that might completely change the whole thing. Well, it looks like it is, but I don't have the camera, so I can't tell you guys for sure yet, but because it allows you to shoot 10-bit in V-Log, all that stuff internally in the camera, so that might completely change the game. Once I test it out, I'll let you know if it's a big difference. Low light is still not as good, at least from what I've seen, as some of the Sony cameras, obviously, so that's the difference. But you're getting, like I said, for a lower price tag, you're getting, I would say, more features. And like I said, I love the lenses better on Micro Four Thirds, better selection, and also makes it way easier. Just because I don't usually shoot some stuff that's really wide, I prefer to be able to have a smaller, image sensor where I can zoom in, very easily, and have, like I said, a really nice tight zoom in on, and get nice telephoto shots, which is what I like shooting with, anyways. On Sony, like I said, you'd have to fork out a lot more money to get a nice fast zoom lens at stabilized. So that's just something to consider. But having said that, if I'm shooting something where I don't need those really long telephoto lenses, and definitely when I'm shooting something in low light, I'll go in with Sony. Otherwise, I'll go with Micro Four Thirds or Panasonic.
Okay, Tom, we're already half hour
over. So I guess we should be finishing, right? So
you want to do two more questions?
All right,
one is quick. Are you using a LAT right now for the streaming?
Yeah, I'm using my own custom LAT, so you guys can check it out.
Yeah, people can download it from the downloads page on our website, right?
Yeah, that's my custom LUT for the Ursa Mini, so it just makes it, I think, look better, but it still doesn't make it look completely like video.
Okay, the
And
last
yeah,
sorry, the last question: anamorphic or spherical lenses? Which one do you think are better? Some say that anamorphic lenses have a quiet, more natural look. Is that true? It's a question from Florian.
the anamorphic lenses have what? Cleaner look?
That they have quiet, more natural look, flat
Oh,
look,
oh,
flat
okay.
look.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing. Anamorphic lenses distort your image because they were meant to basically squeeze a wide aspect image ratio back in the day, right, onto a square piece of film, right? So they would, basically take this, wide field of view and they squeeze it, and that's why the lenses, kind of oval shape creates those streak lines, right? Like for example with the lights, creates those oval shaped, bokeh in the back. So it doesn't look natural. Now the reason why many people want to shoot anamorphic is because it has that unique anamorphic look which people associate with these traditional film look, right? Because a lot of these big cinema, big movies from back in the day were shot with that. So if you don't want it to look natural, you want it to actually look very old school kind of filmic, then anamorphic is better. But is it a cleaner look? No, it creates there's more breathing in the lenses. They just, in general, like I said, they distort the image. So sometimes things towards the image, like the corners are going to be not as sharp, just a little bit distorted and stuff. That's something that anamorphic creates, which, like I said, it doesn't create a cleaner image, but it creates a more cinematic image. Why? Because more big cinema films were shot with it. The spherical lenses, yeah, they will, especially good spherical lenses will create a more just an evenly kind of a, they also distort, every lens distorts, you could say, the image, but they distort it less and they do it uniformly because it's a perfect circle. So that's the difference. So it's definitely a cleaner look, more natural, the spherical than anamorphic. But is it better? Well, it just comes down to preference again, like with a lot of these things. Anyway, so I think that's it.
There are sorry, there are more questions, but I guess we'll have to wait till
Yeah, next
next
because
time.
we're already going
Yeah.
way at 34
Yeah.
minutes overboard. So well, I'm glad that there's so many questions and you guys are enjoying the show. Again, just a quick reminder: if you want to get the pad prompter, right? The basically, well, you could say the portable and affordable teleprompter. Again, it's a free giveaway. Anybody worldwide, the company will ship it to you. All you have to do is share this video either on Facebook or YouTube, and make sure you do it because we'll be checking. And then leave a comment. Just let us know why you want the teleprompter. And then next week, tune into the show. We'll pick a winner, and it's gonna, we'll then get your contact information so we can ship it. And then also, like I said, we're gonna have some other cool stuff next week. Maybe more giveaways, maybe not. I don't want to say anything. But make sure you tune in. And if you like the show, always share it with other people, other filmmakers and stuff like that. And submit. Like I said, you guys can always submit. Like you saw today, I color graded some footage, and I'm gonna now post it just like in the 2 weeks ago when I color graded some other video. I posted as a LUT, so you guys can download it. You guys can use it, including the filmmaker himself who submitted the film. He can now, if he likes what I did, he can apply it to his film. So that's one cool thing. So if you have footage you want me to color grade, again, follow the submission links basically in the description of the video. Same thing if you want us to feature your work. Every someone will be doing basically, well, almost every week we feature your work. So whether it's your work in progress, maybe you have some questions, or you have something that you finished, you just want to show it off, maybe a trailer for your film or something, or a full short film, or you want to get our opinion on something, maybe you want us to critique it. Whatever it is, submit it. We'll showcase it on the show, and like I said, hopefully get you guys more exposure, or just help you with, giving us your, basically giving you our opinion. Anyways, I guess it's a good thing that we're running behind schedule because it means people are into the show. It's definitely fun doing it. So like I said, every weekly we have new videos coming out, reviews, tutorials, stuff like that. Plus this show is going to be on every week, so make sure you check us out on Facebook or on Twitter. And I guess that's it, right?
That's it, guys. Thank you for all the participation. Thanks for all the people who answered, questions in the chat. So that's really helpful because it's difficult to handle everything. You guys have also experienced that, that we don't have. We haven't not used every piece of equipment, so it's great that you guys participate.
Yeah. So we like the input, and also like leave us, like I said, leave those comments. By the way, on YouTube when the video is posted, the comments that you leave right now are all going to be gone because the way that YouTube does it. So make sure that that you leave those comments in the video once it's posted, like on the actual YouTube page. Leave those comments if you want to get the teleprompter right. Leave it there. But yeah, also just like when you guys are leaving your comments about what you like about the show, where you think we can improve it, or just ideas even for shows if you have, let us know. Maybe we can talk about a different topic next week. But anyways, stay tuned. And as always, you can go to our website, tomantosfilms.com. Check us out. Subscribe to the newsletter there too, so you stay up to date. Anyways, I guess that's it, right, Lucas?
That's all. Thanks, guys, and see you next week.
Yeah. All right. Bye.